It's Fringe Festival time. This Access video has been created to help you plan your trip to Holden Street Theatres with information on the different performance spaces, accessible pathways, and facilities. When booking tickets for shows, please be sure to detail any access requirements so that the front of house staff can be prepared and can guide you to your seat. Please see the contact details at the end of this video. These videos have been made in collaboration with Adelaide Fringe Festival and JFA Purple Orange. They were filmed on Ghana country. Holden Street Theatres is in High Marsh, Ghana Country, South Australia. Holden Street Theatres Inc. is committed to creating and supporting local South Australian theatre of the highest quality. They present professional theatre from creative development of new work to reimagining and staging of classic and contemporary plays. They are also the home of amateur theatre company Red Phoenix Theatre. Holden Street Theatres consists of 4 spaces: the Studio, the Arch, 32 Holden Street, and the Barbara Hardy Garden, all available for hire and all in use during the Fringe season. This access video by JFA Purple Orange will take you through each of the spaces and give essential information about the venue's physical accessibility. Holden Street Theatres is accessible via public transport. The nearest bus stop is Bus Stop 7 Manton Street, North and South Sides, which has a 5-minute walk to the theatre. The closest stop on South Road East is Bus Stop 10. However, crossing South Road from the west is difficult, so the best stop is Stop 12 on Grange Road on the south. It is then a 10-minute walk to the theatre. The tram stop at the entertainment centre is a 15-minute walk to the theatre. The Bowden train station is a 19-minute walk to the theatre. Cooper's Stadium is next door to the theatre. There are times when games at Cooper's Stadium coincide with theatre shows. There are typically 2 or 3 games across the Fringe season. This means that the streets around the theatre are very busy, there may be changes to traffic control, and parking can be difficult. Please plan accordingly. Please visit www.cooperstadium.com.au to find out when games are on. During games, there are extra sounds, lights, people and cars. Games typically run from around 7 p.m. to around 9 p.m. On-street parking is available on both sides of Holden Street with time limits of 1 to 2 hours between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. There are 4 accessible bays on Holden Street, slightly north of the venue entrance. During games at Cooper's Stadium, the accessible spaces can only be used with an extra permit and are often used by businesses associated with the game. This means that there are no accessible car parks near to Holden Street Theatre when games are on. There is a parking lot inside Holden Street Theatre complex. This lot belongs to the stadium. If you require drop-off inside the theatre complex, you can contact Holden Street Theatres to arrange this. While games are on, this may not be possible. There is an outdoor area when you enter Holden Street Theatres closest to the studio. The flooring is paved and mostly flat. Philcell Catering provides a cafe in the outside area, which is set up just for the Fringe season. The cafe opens an hour before the first show starts and closes when the last show starts. It provides a variety of food, including vegetarian options. The floor here is flat, but often crowded with people, chairs, and tables. There is a paved path around the building with astroturf covering part of it. The treed area has astroturfed paths. There may be leaves and seeds on the ground. Orders for food can be made by approaching the counter. Once you have your food, you can eat it here or bring it into the indoor quiet area. There are seating options outside, including cafe chairs and pallet benches. You can sit here whether you buy food and drink or not. There's a bar outside where you can order drinks. The bar is open an hour before the first show starts and closes an hour after the last show finishes. You can take your drink inside during the performance. The counter is at standing height. The ground here is astroturf, which can be damp after rain. Beside the bar is a box office where you can buy tickets to the Holden Street Theatre shows. You can also purchase tickets online or by phone via the fringe details at the end of this video. See the printed fringe program or website to find shows here or at other venues with access options such as Ausline interpreters, audio description, and more. There is a wide ramp up to the box office which has a lip of 2.5 centimetres. There is a ramp with no lip, 120 centimetres wide, to the right side of the box office. The counter is at standing height. Next to the box office is an alleyway which leads to the men's toilets. The alleyway has an obstacle of a low section of concrete. There is a step up of 11 centimetres into the bathroom with a doorway of 75 centimetres. There is a small sink, a mirror, soap, and a loud hand dryer. There is a small urinal and one cubicle. During Fringe, there is an accessible toilet on the other side of the car parks, closer to the arch space, which we will look at in more detail. There is an entry from the alley into the indoor seating space. The doorway is 85 centimetres wide and has a step up of 6 centimetres into the room. Follow us as we take the step-free pathway. Head out to the cafe area and around to the entrance to the indoor seating area called the box. There are double entry doors that open to 85 centimetres with a small step down of 1 centimetre. This room has couches for audiences and artists to relax in. There is a bar space, however this bar is not in use. There is an air conditioner in this room. There are photos and memorabilia in this room and the lighting is generally low. There is an automated external defibrillator AED in this room. In this area are the ladies' toilets. There is a step up into the toilet of 4 centimetres. There are 2 cubicles, a sink, a mirror, soap, and a hand dryer. The third cubicle has a baby change table and a curtain. The doors on the cubicles are narrow at 56 centimetres wide. The first performance space is the studio. The studio's main entrance has two narrow doors, both of which can be opened to a width of 1.3 metres wide. There is a small foyer which leads into the theatre. The floor of this pathway is carpeted and flat. Follow this path down the left side of the seats and across the front of the stage area. There is tiered seating in this place with stairs on one side. There is no reserved seating, so audiences choose where to sit. The two front rows are on the ground level and chairs are removable for audience members with mobility aids. The stage area is level with the ground. The studio has two air conditioning units and 4 fans. These are used to reduce the temperature in the studio as it can get hot in the summer and with a big audience. On heatwave days, the temperature can be high even with the air conditioning and fans. There are 2 doors on the stage side of the room, both for artists' use. The second space at Holden Street Theatres is the Arch, which is across the car park from the studio. There is a curb cut up to the path. Audiences line up down this pathway before shows. In the garden to the left is a tree which drops a non-edible fruit which can be a tripping hazard. They are cleared before shows but may fall during the evening. Outside the arch will be an accessible portaloo. It faces the stadium side as there is a curb cut in the path. There is some seating where audiences line up for a show in the arch. There is a ramp to the external doors with a small lip. There is an automated external defibrillator AED in the foyer. The internal double doors open to 86 centimetres wide due to a step behind one of the doors. The centre path between the back row of seats is 1.1 metres at its narrowest. Seating here is general admission, not reserved. The front row of seats in the back section can be removed for mobility aid access. There is a long strip of wood here which sticks out around 1 centimetre from the ground to stop the seats sliding backwards and will also limit how far back any mobility aid can go. The 2 back rows have 2 steps up onto the seating platform, which is 41 centimetres higher than the ground level. The next 2 rows have a step up of 22 centimetres. All other seating is on level ground. The pathways to the front seat section is 66 centimetres wide. The seats are old-fashioned push-down seats with arms. There is ducted air conditioning in the arch. For performers, the stage can be accessed from the audience via 3 narrow steps up with a handrail on the left and no handrail on the right. There are also steps down the other side of the stage which lead to the dressing room and the back entrance, which has a further 3 steps down. The third space at Holden Street Theatres is 32 Holden Street, a heritage house in front of the arch. Fringe performances in 2025 will be held in a room called Judy's. Audiences for fringe shows and Judy's line up along the driveway. There will be ushers to guide you to where you need to wait. From the driveway, you will then walk around to the front entrance of 32 Holden Street. The driveway is mostly flat with some sunken sections of asphalt. Footpath is paved and reasonably flat. The path leads to the front door, which has 3 steps up. These steps will be covered by 2 portable ramps. These ramps will be out for each show. There is a small landing of around 30 centimetres between the 2 ramps. Once inside, there are multiple rooms. The main performance space, Judy's, is to the left. The floor is carpeted and step-free. Judy's has a doorway of 80 centimetres wide and is quite a small space of around 4 metres by 6 metres with a capacity of 20 to 30. Seats are arranged differently for different shows. There is ducted air conditioning throughout the space. Ruby's is another room which can be a performance space or a dressing room for during Fringe. Other rooms in this venue are sometimes used for performance spaces, and the venue can be flexible for artists. There is a curtain which is pulled across to block off part of the house for artist use. There is a small room to the right of the front door which is used as a quiet space. During Fringe, this may be open to audiences or closed for artists' use. After a show at Judy's, exit the same door you came in. The fourth space at Holden Street Theatres is the Barbara Hardy Garden. Audiences line up along the driveway before the show. From the gate of 32 Holden Street, there is a short path and then 10 steep steps down into the garden. The steps are of uneven depths and have a handrail on the right-hand side going down. These steps lead to an outdoor grass area and a covered concrete porch. Performances may take place with the audience on the porch or on the grass area. Seating will change depending on the show, but the audience may be in chairs or on the ground. The garden is open air, so there is no heating or cooling. The games at Cooper's Stadium may be audible from the garden. During games, there are extra sounds and lights. Games typically run from around 7 p.m. to around 9 p.m., but please visit www.cooperstadium.com.au to find out when the games are on. Inside this building is the dressing room for the Barbara Hardy Garden. The entry doorway is 82 centimetres wide. To exit, head up the stairs again. There is a small gate here which exits out onto Holden Street. You can also head back around to the outdoor area to visit the seating area or order from the cafe or bar. You can contact Holden Street Theatres by visiting their website www.holdenstreettheatres.com or emailing manager@holdenstreettheatres.com. You can also phone the box office on 08 8225 8888 or the general inquiries line 08 8223 1450. Please contact Fringe via email access@adelaidefringe.com.au or via the Access booking line on 08 8100 2089. You can contact Fringe Ticks through the National Relay Service on 133 677, then dial 08 8100 2089 or via relayservice.com.au. Thank you for watching this Access video of Holden Street Theatres by JFA Purple Orange for Adelaide Fringe.